Shalom and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. So glad you're joining me today for Let's Talk Torah. I am going to be covering the Haf Torah portion today. Excited for that. I hope you were able to check out Mercy Poured Forth this morning with Robert Wagner. He always brings an excellent word, great way to start off your week. He was mentioning, being a light on that hill for people, as well as being a blessing for people. It's so important to do that daily. Yah gives us the opportunity to do that. He puts people in our lives for that very reason. And, we don't need to overlook those opportunities, even if it's just to lend a helping hand or offer a word of encouragement. You never know what position that person is in their life and how you might be able to affect them in a positive light. Before we get going, I did want to just share our schedule so you can see what we have going on this week. We have something every day, Sunday through Shabbat. Sometimes we even have multiple shows. So if you haven't seen all these programs, please check them out. They're so amazing. Each one offers its own unique twist and information, just a wealth of knowledge between all the people participating here at Heart of the Tribe. And we're so thankful for everybody that joins us, comments in the chat, shares their insight and knowledge with us as well. All righty. Thank you, Blood of the Lamb, Jen, Between the River and the Ravens, Robert, Brother Lee. Hope you're having a good start of the week at work. Just thankful for everybody that tuned in. Let me go ahead and get my PowerPoint shared here. Like I said, this is going to be the Haf Torah portion out of Isaiah 54, 1 through 10. Somewhat of a short portion today, but I was able to find some good information just digging in. Sometimes just because it's short doesn't mean that there's not the good little nuggets of knowledge in there. So hopefully that this will be a blessing to you today. If I can get my PowerPoint to work. All right. Isaiah 54, 1. Sing, O barren, you that did not bear, break forth into singing and cry aloud. You that did not travail with child, for more are the children of the desolate than the children of the married woman, says yahuah. So we see here this word barren is referring to Sarah and her early barrenness, which later became fruitfulness. She was older in years before she had a child, but Yah heard her cry, blessed her, which turned into many seeds of all generations we see. So in ancient Israel, the barren woman carried much shame and disgrace. Comparing a captive Israel to a barren woman who can now sing praises because more of the children of the desolate, which would be the Gentiles, than the children of the married woman, which would have been the Jews. After being grafted in by the blood of Yahusha Hamashiach, the children of the new covenant would outnumber the children of the old covenant. So, we are so thankful that by Yahusha giving his life for us, we have now been grafted in to his kingdom and are called as his children. This verse here out of Galatians 4:27. For it is written, rejoice, you barren that bear not. Break forth and cry, you that travail not. For the desolate has many more children than she which has a man. I just love how sometimes you can find almost identical verses from the Old Testament and the New Testament. It just shows that both are still relevant in our lives today. Verse 2, enlarge the place of your tent, and let them stretch forth the curtains of your habitations. Spare not, lengthen your cords, and strengthen your stakes. Because There's going to be this large number of new children coming to the kingdom. This tent is going to be enlarged. They're going to have to expand what they once had. The word curtain means the canopy or cloth used in a tent. And the idea is that the boundaries of the church were to be greatly enlarged in order to accommodate the vast acquisitions from that pagan world. The enlargement of the tent would make longer ropes and larger pegs necessary just to support the size that it was going to be increasing. Verse 3, for you shall break forth on the right hand and on the left, and your seed shall inherit the other nations and make the desolate cities to be inhabited. So due to the rapid increase in children of this gospel, I would call it busting at the seams, this promise would strengthen and comfort the Babylonian exiles who at the time felt small in number and weak just from where they had come from. Verse 4, fear not, for you shall not be ashamed, neither be confounded, for you shall not put to shame. For you shall forget the shame of your youth, and you shall not remember this reproach of your widowhood anymore. Just as Yah compared the disgrace of Israel to the shame of barrenness, he now compares their humiliation to the dishonor of widowhood. But he does promise them rescue from this shame. And the word shame here we're seeing is from the period of their Egyptian bondage. Verse 5, for your maker is your husband, yahuah Sevaoth is his name, and your Redeemer, the Holy One of Yasharel, the Elohai of the whole earth shall he be called. Israel might have been regarded as forsaken as a widow, but Yah promises to stand in the place of her husband, as her husband. Sorry, my spelling's not too good today. Whereas formerly he was called the God of Israel only, and the Gentiles had no relation to him, the time is now coming when he shall be called the God of the Gentiles also, having admitted them into the same covenant relation to himself with the Jews. And that partitioning wall between the Jews and the Gentiles has been broken down. Yahuwah is ever and in all places the Redeemer and Vindicator of his people, a strong rock of refuge to those that trust in him. We must trust in him. That's not guaranteed. He is there willing and waiting for us, but we must at all times put our faith and trust in him to receive those promises. Verse 6, for Yahuwah has called you as a woman forsaken and grieved in her ruach, and a woman of youth, when you were refused, says your Elohim. Yah will supply and meet our emotional needs and rescue us from our disgrace and shame when others have forsaken us. Yahuwah is a greater husband than any man can be, because no earthly husband can fulfill every need that the great heavenly husband can. Definitely a promise and a reminder that whether you're feeling forsaken or not, he is there for you. No man on this earth can redeem and fulfill all your needs like he can. Verse 7, for a small moment I have forsaken you, but with great mercies will I gather you. Yah never really actually forsook Israel, yet he recognized that they felt forsaken. He said, for a mere moment, I allowed you to feel that I have forsaken you. We see this azab is the Hebrew word for forsake, and it does not mean to abandon, but to not intervene. And that's such an important difference to know between that. A lot of times, if we feel forsaken, all hope is lost. There's nobody on our side. But really, that's not the case. He is just choosing to not intervene to help us out at that moment in time. And I started to think, why would this happen? Because, most of the promises are always, I will never forsake you. I'm always there with you, for you. So it's kind of contradictory when you see it. But when you read it as not intervene, it does explain and make a little bit more sense. Why would he not intervene? And I got to thinking, and I thought of Luke chapter 9, verse 26. For so whoever shall be ashamed of me and of my words, of him shall the Son of Adam be ashamed, when he shall come in his own glory and in his Father's and of the holy angels. So, it's important to have that light shining all the time. Don't be ashamed of this walk where you have been, where you've come from, and where you are now. We should be excited about it, willing to share the good news to everyone that we can, because we don't want him to be ashamed of us and for him to forsake us in that time of need. This was a commentary I got from Joseph Benson. I thought it was really well worded. For a small moment, for the space of some few years, as 70 years in Babylon, and some such intervals, which may well be called a small moment in comparison of Yah's everlasting kindness. Mentioned in the next verse, have I forsaken thee, withdrawn my favor and help from thee, and left thee in thy enemies' hands. But with great mercies, such as are very precious, and of long continuance will I gather thee from all the places where thou art dispersed, from all parts of the world. Just amazing to know that we have been spread all throughout the world, but he is going to gather us back. We have to keep our sights on him and know that he is there for us as long as we are there for him. I spoke on faith a few Mercy Poured Force ago, and I think it was either faith or fear. I've done both, but it was interesting to find out that, faith is actually a two-way street. It's how can we support yahuah so he can support us? It's not just handed to us. Of course, he's there willing to be there for us at all times, but we are expected and required to meet him and also give him that support so he can support us back. I thought that was a really amazing concept when I broke that word down a little bit. Picking up in verse 8. In a little wrath I hid my face from you for a moment, but with everlasting kindness will I have mercy on you, says yahuah, your Redeemer. When we feel tried and forsaken, we should recognize that it is just for a moment, and the everlasting blessing will certainly come. Deuteronomy 31:18. And I will surely hide my face in that day for all the evils which you shall have wrought, in that they are turned unto other Elohim. Like I was saying, being embarrassed of him, when we are not following him and obeying his commands, walking a worldly lifestyle, he will hide his face from us. Those promises and that protection is not guaranteed. He's right there waiting for us to return to him and is always there, but it is on us and up to us to receive those blessings by following through with his commands. Numbers 6:24 through 26. This is what obviously this is a wonderful verse here, and we should always strive for this to happen. We don't want him to hide his face from us, to turn his face from us. When we reach New Jerusalem, there will be no sun, but the light will be shining from his face. He will provide the light that we need in that time. That's a beautiful picture to even think about. Yahuah bless you and guard you. Yahuah make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yahuah lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Shalom. What a wonderful statement, a promise that we all want in our lives. We all should need this and want this. And by being a blessing to others, we will be blessed. Just like Robert was saying earlier. Verse 9. For this is as the waters of Noach unto me. For as I have sworn 7 oaths that the waters of Noach should no more go over the earth, so have I sworn 7 oaths that I would not be wroth with you, nor rebuke you. This covenant of grace and peace made with Israel shall be as certain and perpetual as that which was made with Noah, that there should never be another flood to drown the world. What an amazing promise that we received. I loved witnessing a rainbow. A few weeks ago, we actually had a double rainbow right over our backyard, and there's something so majestic about witnessing that, seeing that promise. We know that is a direct sign and symbol from our Creator that he will not destroy our world by water. Not that it won't be destroyed in the future, but he will not flood it again. And we need to be ready and for his return, so that we won't be here when that second time comes and the earth is destroyed by fire. This last verse I've got, Isaiah 54:10. For the mountains shall depart and the hills be removed, but my kindness shall not depart from you, neither shall the covenant of my peace be removed, says Yahuah, that has mercy on you. Everything material may fall, depart, or perish, but Yah's promises remain firm and secure forever. Just like I had spoke on the mansions that he is preparing for us in heaven. We can't be focused on our earthly mansion. You know, obviously we all need a home, a place to live, for shelter and comfort, but putting our priorities in that, trying to build it with our gold and silver here, is, in the end, it's just going to crumble away and dissolve. We need to be focused on our earthly mansion that is everlasting. And this last verse I have here to tie it in, Matthew 24:35. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. And that's another promise. You know, this place that we are living currently has a beginning and an end, but his words are forever. And we can put our hope and our faith and trust in those words. They will not let you down. They will encourage you and lift you up. And I just pray that if you have not read the Bible like you should, you know, you need to dig in deep, line by line. I suggest just starting from the beginning. That's the first place, the best place to start. You will find all your answers there. There's nothing hidden from us. It is all there for us to find. And the word is alive. So as you go through your daily life, it will speak to you in its own personal way that it needs to reach you specifically. That is all I had. I'm thankful that this went well. I woke up not feeling the greatest, so I'm just praising Yah that he let me get through this. I know it was a little bit shorter today, but I hope that you were able to glean something from it. I really enjoyed digging into these verses in Isaiah. He was such a wise prophet that really spoke on foreshadowing and times to come. And so I hope that I was able to bring some words that blessed you this morning. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. Like I said, we have many shows coming this week, so please check those out. And I hope that they bless you and all the content we offer here at Heart of the Tribe. We do have Telegram groups as well, Facebook page, and email. If you need to reach us, please do. We would love to hear from you. Leave us a comment if you have any insight on these verses. I'd love to hear what you had to say. So thank you very much for joining. And as we leave, I know Shell likes to do this. I will go ahead and say the priestly blessing over you again. Yahuah bless you and guard you. Yahuah make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yahuah lift up your countenance upon you and give you peace. Shalom, everyone.